Hi everybody, Patrick here from Engineering Shock Electronics, engineeringshock.com. This is the first Butler video, and this is a fundamentals video. So I've torn most of my code out, and I basically rewrote it, or rather added tons and tons of comments. But basically all this bare bones code does is it takes a keyword from the keyboard, compares it against however many lists of words you have, and if your word matches any of those other pre-programmed words, then basically tell us which code is returned, which value is returned. And the long-term idea is we use that returned value, if there is a match, and call a certain program in our archive. So if you haven't already, check out the Kickstarter campaign below, because if you didn't, you won't have any idea what this video is about. So right now, when I plug in this software into my Butler, all it does is just says enter command. It does nothing else that's fancy. We're going to go through all of the fundamentals, and then basically after you understand how the Butler works, the rest is yours. You plug in your pieces of code as you see fit. I'll have a whole bunch of code samples for you to play with, manipulate, and do as you will, or you can delete them, add your own, whatever. There's lots of program space left. I've only used 11%, although I have used a lot of the dynamic memory because of all the libraries that are installed on this. But in any case, you don't have to use all of those. So if I enter in a keyword on the keyboard, just say the. Say I'm not happy with it. I can press backspace. In the code that is on the project page, also linked in the Kickstarter, you'll be able to see the code, and I've commented every line, so you see exactly what I've done to program this so far. So basically what the code does so far is it sets up the LCD, it sets up the keyboard, the keyboard interface, and it opens the serial monitor as well and talks you through the serial monitor. And so when you type a word and you press enter, the ASCII value in the list for that word is printed on the serial monitor. And that's exactly how we'll get words in the future and copy and paste them into lists so we can easily make new commands, call new programs. So I'll enter in Andrew. And you see nothing. You'll see nothing on the keyboard. Nothing will change. If we don't have a matched word in the list, if our new word doesn't match any of the other words in the list, it'll an integer called code will return a value of 0. If it matches a word, then it will return the value of associated with that word. So let's look at the serial monitor. As you can see, don't worry, you're not intended to read any of the code. This isn't obviously a great way to showcase it, but what I've done is I've fully commented everything, and anything that's not commented, it's explained why, because it's so straightforward and gives you a brief description. So we've set up a list of words. We've set up a whole bunch of integers. We've included a few libraries. We've done a bunch, and everything is fully commented. Everything. So this is a fundamental video 1. The second fundamental video will take more of the code, such as audio or the state machines algorithm, and we'll plug it in. So basically you learn the first part, how the fundamentals work, and then we'll add to it video by video. So I'll open the serial monitor. There we go. And there's a whole bunch of stuff already on there. I'll just clear it, and I'll zoom in. I'm going to type a word, Patrick. It shows up on the LCD, but nothing shows up on the screen yet. So you'll notice that a few things here. 1, I've got 16 ASCII characters. 12, 97, 16, 14, 105, 199, and 107 equals PATRICK. I did not use the remaining characters in a list of a maximum of 16 characters. So basically later on what I'm going to do is say I want Patrick to be a keyword. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to add it into a new list in the code, and you'll see the list of words at the top of the code if you go and look at the first code sample for this first fundamental video. So this is actually just how easy it is to create your own directory. You won't see me do it yet because I haven't added the state machines algorithm yet, which is very, very, very simple. You copy this, you paste it into your list, you make a couple little changes that are so simple. It takes you 1 minute. And you've got a new word that calls a specific piece of code that you dictate. So there's a function that compares the commands, and since Patrick doesn't exist in my list, it returned code returned 0. So let's just try a few known words in my directory. Y for yes. Code equals 1. Let's just see. No. N. Code equals 2. So I'm wondering if let's just see. Matrix. Code equals 0. Sound. 14. Noises. 19. So these are all words that I have in my directory, and it's actually so simple how all this works. If you look at the code, you might think, "Wow, that's a lot of code." I'm a little bit freaked out by it. Don't be, because here's the great thing: this code isn't going anywhere. And if you read through the comments, you'll be able to make sense of it. And even if you don't get a great grasp on it right away, the great thing is again, this code isn't going anywhere. You don't need to learn everything right now. You basically follow my videos and you read the code samples, and then the next video will have this same piece of code with another addition, so you can download that separately and have a look at it. And eventually, what I'll do is I'll release the whole software with all of my code samples, and you can do with those as you wish. But you'll have all the tools you'll need to basically make your own directory. Dir is one, dir. Dir is code 3, so that code 3 would call the directory command, which would tell you to open your serial monitor, and once you do that, you press directory again, and you can see the directory of codes go down the screen. So basically, all we need to do is make our keywords, throw them into memory, and there's a lot of room left. And when we call those words from then on, it'll call whatever piece of code we have associated with it. And so, I mean, there's so much you can do with this board. There's going to be so much audio. I've had a few really great suggestions on the comment page for sound effects. If you haven't already ready, check out the main comment page. There are a lot of great suggestions, and there's so much room left in the library too. So nearing the end of the campaign, I'm going to compile those. I'll spend a weekend going over every single one, and again, if you have a very specific soundbite, you can send me a YouTube link, or you can download it directly from you if you'd like, to see if we can get it added to the library. Anyway, check out the code. It's linked below. If you haven't already, check out the Kickstarter campaign. It's also linked below. This software, again, there's programs, there's so much on here, but it's all really straightforward. I tried to format it as best I could so it made more sense to you guys. But if you feel like it, ask me some questions. If you can't understand a certain aspect of the code, feel free to drop me a line through Kickstarter. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching this video. In the next video, we'll implement state machines and actually start calling pieces of code.